Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Today is the 9th session of online diplomacy course, and we have our speaker, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Shahid Amin Khan. Excellency is the 4th World Chairman of International Human Rights Commission as an intergovernmental organization, and Ambassador is joining us today, and he will be discussing about carrot and stick diplomacy, which is a very difficult topic to discuss, but His Excellency will discuss about carrot and stick diplomacy, so we will learn a lot from the ambassador. So I warmly welcome all the participants and especially our speaker, Ambassador Dr. Shahid Amin Khan. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, dear Musawwar, the President, Honorable President of the Youth Diplomacy Forum. It's an honor to be with you on this important series of lectures on the diplomacy in different subjects. Today, the topic has been chosen by me is the carrot and stick diplomacy. Well, somebody should understand that in politics, carrots and stick diplomacy is something that refers to the realistic concept of a soft and hard powers. Carrot refers to the a concept of a promise of economic and diplomatic aid between nations, while stick means to be a threat of a military action. This concept been introduced in an 18th century, and then it has been taken by Sir Winston Churchill. And especially when we are looking at the concept, this concept came from the English version of a British style of politics. They give promises, hopes, and they inspire other aspirations, and they did with the peoples of India. They give carrots like hopes of economic and development, and they capture the subcontinent of Indo-Pak, and then they use the stick to keep the Indo-Pak into their hands by militarily, by oppression, by tyranny, and everything. This is the one example. The second example in the recent times, JCPOA, the agreement which the United States of America done with the Iran. There is a promise that we will do this for the Iran, and Iran has to stop its nuclear capability and enrichment of uranium. On the other hand, if you will not do, we will put sanctions, we will make everything possible to stop you. This is the mean of stick. The carrots is an agreement which has been done by the United States of America, and Donald Trump has threatened international community aspiration for a peaceful resolution, and he took that carrot out of a region. And then now recently, as the Biden administration came, they gave it to once again that carrot to in diplomacy with the European Union, to the Iran, that okay, we are negotiating, we are with you, we are this. So this is a kind of a diplomacy, and this is a kind of a threatening process called the carrot and stick diplomacy. Let us talk to the subcontinent or the other countries. The Pakistan is also a very good example from the last 75 years. Carrot, a time and period of Field Marshal General Muhammad Khan. A carrot given to Yahya Khan, but the Pakistan split into the two different nations and countries. A carrot was taken away from Pakistan because Pakistan was decided to respond the threat, nuclear threat by India to Pakistan, to establish the nuclear program. Stick, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto has been hacked. Then carrot, fight with the Soviet invasion in Afghanistan. Today's Taliban, on that time they were Mujahideen. Today's Taliban, they were allies, and they was a friend of the United States of America. In 2001, that allies, that Mujahideen, that friends who been in support of the American vision in Afghanistan and against Soviet Union, they becomes the enemies. And then military intervention has been started. The sanction has been put on Pakistan. Economic threats given to Pakistan, although Pakistan didn't face the military action, but Afghanistan faced. This is what is happening in two ways. You know, when we do, as diplomats do diplomacy, we want to reach on the final solution over the table. And when power decides, they decide into the field of a war, a military action. But ultimately, everybody believes that the power of negotiation and diplomacy always wins. And that is the carrot. Well, the carrot itself is a very sweet vegetable, so it should be understandable that the carrot diplomacy always wins. In the on the other hand, the stick diplomacy always getting failed. It's an historical fact. But in the carrot diplomacy, when you are playing with the sentiments of our peoples, when you are playing and showing your cards over the table, you should be smart enough to get much more as you wanted. And those who lose, those who have weak diplomacy or weak skill of a negotiation. This has happened this time in Afghanistan. A weak negotiation of the United States of America is causing the suffering of Afghan peoples. Here, carrot diplomacy has been failed. So there is so many dimensions we can talk on it, and it is a very much clear the concept. I wanted to make it the clarity over the concept of carrot and stick diplomacy, and I want to let all of you know that it is a very much clear that the diplomacy, which we call it the carrot diplomacy, that means the diplomacy of negotiation and talks. That's it. Over there, over the table, sit across the table with your enemies or friends, talk with them, reach on the solution, and every solution has every conflict has the solution. But it is when there is a will, there is a way. And smartly, if I am not wrong, the military pupils or personnel or leaders, they don't believe on the soft diplomacy, which I am referring to the carrot diplomacy. They always use power, and they always talk in the manner of power. This is what is I always refer to, that they are blind minds. They are thinking on a one way. Although we keep in our mind that there is a threatening diplomacy will be when we will be failed to negotiate, because might be someone will stick on their own, and we can't do anything in negotiation. We are not getting achieved. We are not getting the result. We are not harmonizing the situation. Then on that time we threaten, but we threaten on the different way than the military action. And most of the time, the stick diplomacy, which I am referring, a diplomatic talks and threatening diplomatically, softly, in a different manner, always be successful. But whenever you go for the military action, it shows us, the history shows us, that from the Alexander the Great to till now, every power failed. You cannot invade and to keep under your power any nation, any country, any society. Yes, of course, you can work with them. You can be superior over them, but in a different manner, not by military. This is what I always refer and what I always teaches to my students and my fellow juniors, that if you want to achieve, if you want to get successes, if you want to harmonize the society and the world, if you want that your people should be prosperous, then use the carrot diplomacy, because it is an ultimate way of successes. There is no power other than the power of a God or Allah that can supersede the human wishes, or supersede, or what we call it, that they which can bow, anybody can go ahead or keep going ahead. That is the only power of Allah. It cannot be a human power who can make it bow every human all the time. Sometimes, because as a human, it is a nature. We don't agree, we disagree, and sometimes we stick it on our principles. We don't compromise. So it means that the power cannot achieve. Power can buy the things. Power can overcome for a temporary, but power cannot resolve the issues. Power cannot resolve the conflicts. Power cannot bring the harmony. Power cannot bring the stability. Power is always a failure. It's a kind of a one-time solution. Attack, achieve, grab, and that's it. But the diplomacy is a tool of continuing our efforts, hopes, aspirations will never despair in the carrot diplomacy way. This is what I mean. This is, you all should understand that whenever you talk to them, it's a very simple example. Whenever you talk with anybody with a kindness, politeness, and you listen to them, and then with the argument, with the argument. I'm saying with the argument. You can convince them. They will listen to you in reverse. They will be polite to you in reverse. They will be kind to you in reverse. But when you have a stick in your hand, even in the schools, colleges, on the old time, teacher was beating the students with the stick, but those students never get it results. The students, those get the results and successes were those who been get the lessons and get the inspiration of a teacher with politeness, kindness. So this is the ultimate way. And there is no other way into the diplomacy that we can be a successful and to resolve the conflicts, to resolve the disputes, to resolve the civil wars, to resolve the ignorance, to resolve to provide a good governance even, to end the corruption. There is always a way, but it needs to be having a will. Always diplomacy fails on that time when we just follow self-interest, not the national interest. You know, at this moment, the 4 crores Afghanis are suffering due to the selfish diplomacy. I am not accusing the United States of America. I'm accusing the one person who's been nominated by the United States of America for this. These are failures. Zalmay Khalilzad. Americans intelligentsia know he's a selfish man. He thrown 4 crore pupils into the hell. Nothing he achieved for the people of Afghanistan, despite the I'm not arguing at this moment what will the course and future of Afghanistan under the Taliban and what will be happen. But the failures, I'm saying you the failures of a diplomacy. The failure of diplomacy is that whenever any diplomat or any negotiator is a failed on table, you achieve on a table and you lose on a table. It is a way of diplomacy. Whether you are having an negotiation behind the curtains. I mean, we always refer to be a behind the door diplomacy, or whether you are an open diplomacy. You lose and you win over the table. And when there is a selfish negotiator, they always lose the interest of a nation. I will not refer anything about Pakistan at this moment because might be it's look ridiculous from me to refer Afghanistan, but it is and Pakistan, unfortunately. I am looking in the future, and might be whatever the decision has been taken on the course of Afghanistan by the Pakistan, might be it will be a one more failure. Might be it will be a successes, but the successes and failure depends on actions. Let's see. The failure will be less than the successes, and whatever I will refer toward this course, that means that we are in a closed door. We cannot leave the international community and demands of an international community, and we cannot go along on the way of our own wishes. This is the worst scenario for any country who lose the confidence of an international community and who lose their own cards to show the successes to the international world. So this is, thank you very much. I hope my words are enough, and I'm ready to take up any question.
Thank you very much, Excellency. And you have discussed in a very detail by giving practical examples, and we have seen this. U.S. Unfortunately, United States used this carrot and stick diplomacy in the time of when Soviet Union was capturing Afghanistan, and then U.S. again invaded Afghanistan. So United States used this same policy with Iran as well, with Cuba as well, and with other countries also. But they failed, and they miserably failed. We have seen what happened in Kabul airport, 2 to 3 attacks in a day, and many people are died because of their failure. And they used carrot and stick diplomacy to achieve their national interest, but unfortunately they failed to do that. So I mean, what we can say that I have seen your activities as well, that at international arena in many different organizations, especially at United Nations, you along with your team proposed solutions and what we can say resolutions to the United Nations. So this is a great step, and IHRC, International Human Rights Commission, always stands with the oppressed people across the world, especially in case of Afghanistan, Syria, Palestine, Rohingya, and other people, those who are suffering from conflicts. So IHRC always stands with them, and I always appreciate your efforts for the people who are suffering across the world. And thank you very much for joining. If we have any question, so it will be good. If anyone would like to ask any question from the ambassador.
Yes, hello everyone. I don't really have a question. I just would like to add some compliments to what Miss Ambassador said, and well said. One thing I've seen from the past years in my personal lives, sorry, is that people receive. People give what they receive. I'm sorry. Once again, people receive what they give. Nowadays, people are full of stress, especially with this pandemic. People are becoming extremely bad to others, but no way. There's no need, sorry, for the things to be that way. So what I realize is the fact that when you do wrong to someone, there is a huge probability that the person will respond to the same extent as your energy. So in order for us to avoid this kind of situation, there is one thing we need to apply in our personal lives in terms of just equilibrate our relationship or the relationship we develop with everyone. If you are polite, there is no way people's gonna do wrong or is gonna act bad at you because you already started being a polite. Most of relationships are being destroyed because people are not being polite or not doing good things to each other. I have a recent experience I had. It was about my friend who just lost a job in the embassy of India because he had a conflict with his colleague, and the conflict started from his colleague. He's more academical professional than him, but seems like this situation used to trigger his colleague because he was getting more appreciation from the ambassador from India to him, not to other people. But I realized that the secret behind is that my friend was or is a very polite person and extremely educated because the education he has, he didn't get it from school. He got it from his family because he grown up with his father and his mother, and he has a very, very good educational principles. So it opens doors to him. And this is the reason that make him to reach, those kind of high level he's doing. So I would like to advise everyone, doesn't matter who done wrong to you, doesn't matter how people are treating you, please always make sure that you be polite with this person because this is the only way you're gonna change that person. If you be polite to that person, even though he's doing wrong to you, you're gonna teach him that polite and love is the only way we can just be together with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joe.
Osvaldo
Joe, I mean, from Angola. I do understand, and what I always pledge. Basically, the pupils always follow the leadership. Uh, when the leadership is ignorant, incompetent, and blind, they spread the lies. They spread the falsified way of a style. This is what is happening at this moment across the world. When we are lying to ourselves, it's mean we are lying to the whole nation. I mean, we cannot keep ourselves on a double faces when we leaders, sorry, when we leaders set the precedent to be unkind and a blind and an ignorant, and most of us are a liar. We are lying to nations, pupils. So the common men and women, they always took what they get it. And obviously, today, if you give a good things to the others, you will receive the same way. This is the law of nature. But the diplomacy is also based on the law of nature. Give them a good things, receive a good things from them. It is a compromise. It is a way of mutual existence. And when we believe on a way of a mutual existence, we respect everyone. We love everyone. We spread the kindness. And when we spread the kindness, and if we want to achieve, I can achieve by my arguments. Let it to be open, let it to be very fair, and let it to be everything transparent. When leaders and diplomats hide, they hide only for one reason: to reach on a conclusion. Because before that, before reaching to the conclusion, means sometime spreading the rumors and unwanted debates. Otherwise, if we are transparent, if we are fair, and if we are correct on a principle stand for a harmonized world and for the harmonized society, we achieve whatever we achieve, it should be come out in front of a people. It should not be a state secret. The most of time, the state secrets, whenever the state decide to keep wrong things as in state secrets, that is a crime with their own peoples, because that state secrets means losing the credibility and losing a faith of a pupils upon governance. So I agree with you, and I appreciate, and I hope Angola will be a prosperous nation, because we are monitoring day by day Angola, and my mission over there is also looking towards the development and prosperity of Angolan peoples. And hopefully this pandemic has teaches us so many things, we diplomats as well, because today I am virtually with you. Before the pandemic, we follow the core of our action in person, and this is a new track of a diplomacy, that virtual diplomacy came into and added into our diplomatic norms. So now we will be adding one more segment, that this is also a way of a diplomacy, I mean the virtual diplomacy. So hopefully the virtual diplomacy, although I will say that we are not succeeded much as in person, because virtuality is always keeping so many things in the dump box, and we are with our all skills still in dump box. And hopefully that the ignorance and blindness and vaccine nationalism will be end, and especially your continent is facing the consequences of that vaccine nationalism also. I wish that this should be end. And look at this, how many millions people has died, how many billion people are suffering, and still people in power are blind, and they keep lying to their nation. They are hiding the exact fact and figures from the nation. They are fudging the data, and still they are in power. This is what is happening with the humanity across the world. This is happening in every nation. So hopefully one day the truth will prevail, harmony will prevail, and whatever the diplomacy and diplomatic norms we are setting, that diplomatic norm should be stand on some humanitarian principles. Because if any diplomat is not keeping the humanity in front of him or her, they are fully failure in diplomacy, and they are a bad and black spot in a diplomatic community. We must achieve the interest of our nations, but we have to keep the humanity above at all interests of your nation and anybody, those you are dealing with. Humanity. Whenever we will talk about the humanity, it should be a center point for a diplomacy across the world, for the diplomats, because they are human, they are not machines. That someone will feed them. They have a mind. They are not a program. So that I owe you words that what we give, we receive. In terms of other hand, that what we do today, we will face tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Excellency. I would like to add a few things. Because of this carrot diplomacy, we have seen that what will be the result. What we are seeing is that it impacted Central Asian countries, Pakistan, what US did, their withdrawal, and it impacted us. Refugees influx, you know what we have seen, refugees influx in Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Iran, and Pakistan also. And we are also facing other threats of terrorism as well. So this impacted Pakistan and other Central Asian countries. And because of the failed policies as well as using this carrot and stick diplomacy. So what do you think, that it will only create refugee crisis on Pakistan, or maybe a kind of terrorism, or layer of terrorism inside Pakistan as well? So what do you say in this regard?
As I referred earlier in my statement, that the US on a table, the failure of a US is much higher than any other country into the region, because they are stakeholder. But the principal stakeholder was the United States of America, who fighted 20 years along with Taliban and Mujahideen against the Soviet invasion. And then they left it. They left them just like nothing. And Pakistan, China, Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, and Iran, they were, I mean, look at the refugee statistics issued by the refugee, High Commissioner. The burden of refugees goes on these nations. But from Norway, United States of America wanted to create a destabilization for the whole region. Withdrawal, yes, it is correct, but the way it is incorrect. There must be more broader negotiation. I have no objection to that. If Taliban having in confidence of the people of Afghanistan, they must lead. But if the other groups are also having a confidence of the people of Afghanistan, they should lead. It should be a broader negotiation. We lose it. The America lose it over there. And now the President Biden is threatening them that if the interest of the United States of America is threatened, we will deal with you. What you will deal? How you will deal? Once again, you will invent the Afghanistan and put the whole region into the crisis. It should be a prior to withdrawal. There must be a way, there must be a time framework, there must be a broad-based negotiation. Unfortunately, of course, it's very much clear that the Pakistan will be a victim of refugees later or sooner, and a Pakistan will pay the price of the consequences of all this is happening in Afghanistan. Because, let me to be clear, I respect a lot for our foreign minister. I respect a lot for our military and civil leadership in Pakistan. But the way they handle, the way they move, and the way they are tackling this issue, it's not a way to tackling this issue like this. There can be a much more to achieve for Pakistan, but we left it. Our diplomacy, as I mentioned earlier, our diplomacy is failed. We are not gainer and we are not loser when the America decided to withdraw. And now we are in the middle. If we go with Taliban, the whole international community will stand against us. If we go with the international community, then the terrorism will follow us. And this is, what I should mention it, there is an idiom के वो घर का कुत्ता ना वो क्या कहते हैं वो धोबी का कुत्ता ना घर का ना घाट का. This is what our foreign office has made it Pakistan. हम ना उधर के हैं और ना इधर के हैं. And we are living in a taboo. हम एक बक्से में बंद हो गए हैं. We are really, the Pakistan is now, whatever they will say, that we achieved this, we achieved this, we achieved this. Okay, fine, you achieved this, but let us know what you lose it. Be kind and fair to say that where you get defeated or where you lose it. We lose it everything, and still we are making noises and happiness that our diplomacy is succeeded. Where the diplomacy has been succeeded over this all issues? Well, we was a supporter, we was a kind of middleman, and the middleman's always, when it is in business, middleman always win. When it's diplomacy, middlemen always lose. They always go empty hands. So the middleman, Pakistan, is an empty hands. Today, the United States is not trusting us. It should be clear. It should be clear for the whole Pakistani peoples and the whole people of a region. The American policy based on betrayal with the allies. This is the main factor of the American diplomatic policy. they always betrays their own allies. Why today the Europe is so much annoyed from the United States of American withdrawal as the way they withdraw? I mean, they also wanted to withdraw, and I personally myself also want a liberated Afghanistan out of any foreign soldier over there, because it is the matter of a sovereignty, and it's a matter of freedom which we promise as an international community to every nation, to every country under the Charter of the United Nations. I was in favor. But the way they are going, that's creating the mess. And if the American thinks that it will hurt the economic interest of the China, and I mean, it is all happening to stop the China and Russia in their coalition. So we should know that what's happening. It's all the things, all the way why the India was jumping on the encouragement of the United States of America, just because you have to focus on the grouping of the on the regional politics, what they want to do. So battleground will shift from Afghanistan to Pakistan. Whether we will remain allies with the China, and if we will remain allies with the China, then we have to pay the consequences. Because 130 billion people's market in Afghanistan, in India. Afghanistan is a 4 billion people, the 4 crores. You are at 22 crores. You are peanuts in front of the everyone if you don't have a nuclear power, otherwise, and a strategic area of the region. Otherwise, you are a peanut for them. So this peanut should know that we are in the mouth of camel. This is what I'm sorry to say, the negligence of a Pakistan diplomats and Pakistan diplomacy over the issue. And the price, obviously, as you said, the price will be paid by the Pakistan and people of Pakistan. And we are paying the price of this all wrong policies from last 50 years. If I am not wrong to say, these blind leaders should know that where the poverty goes in Pakistan, how much unemployment in Pakistan, how much development they have done in 50 years for Pakistan. You know, the development and empowered nation can speak only if we think that the nuclear weapon is our deterrence. Of course, it's a security deterrence, but it is not the economic deterrence. The downfall of, I want to let all those blind people living in the hawks in Pakistan and food paradise, they should know this reality. The Mujahideen in Afghanistan, they are not the responsible of a downfall of Soviet Union. The downfall of a Soviet Union was its own economic policies. It was not a weapon. It was not a fight. And escape of the United States of America from Afghanistan is to preventing that downfall what the Soviet Union has seen 40 years back. Look at the independent analysis. America at this moment is the worst nation under debt. So they want to now, for a couple of years, they want to get out from all conflicts. Today, the American president, a most powerful person in the world, becomes the vaccine president, not the savior of humanity, not the champion of human rights, and nor the advocate of democracy. He can accept everything out of America just to save America and the Union of America. And it is for the couple of years. But after the couple of years, you will again see the aggressive, strict policy, strict diplomacy of a power of the States of America. They will come again. So those countries who didn't bring up their own nation, they didn't build their own nation, they didn't invest into their own young generation, they will face the worst consequences. And that worst consequences will lead to downfall of any country. This is what is my prediction too. So let it to be, hopefully, the people sitting in power should realize this fact. The region is a very dangerous conflict. It's not an easy conflict now. It will be more difficult for the incoming days. The people of Pakistan should be prepared. We should not be blind. As far as my concern, I'm not accusing anyone. I'm just accusing the policies. I'm not making responsible to anyone, but it is on behind of every policy, behind of every action, behind of every negotiation, there is a human. There is no machine. So all errors, all failures should be accepted by those humans, those who are responsible. And if they are sticking on that point, it's not a failure, it's not an error, it's not a false, then it means they are not sincere with their own nation or own motherland. Diplomacy never, ever kept eyes closed on the interest of a nation or an interest of a country. There is no way for any diplomat to keep his eyes closed for the interest of their nation and country. They always keep supreme. But when the selfish diplomat, as I mentioned, Zalmay Khalildar, one example, like those people, when they move for diplomacy and negotiation, they always lose the interest of a nation. So hopefully Pakistan will find those people also into their arenas that who was responsible of a failures and keeping Pakistan in the taboo-like situation.
Thank you
Yes,
very
please.
much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, for your explaining everything, and what you discussed. It was very informative. Although this topic was very difficult, to discuss and to with our participants, but this was very important because I would like to add just a few things, and then we will conclude. What we have seen that now, before Pakistan announced that we are not going to, take refugees from Afghanistan, but now we are taking them and we are hosting them in our country. Again, now we are helping other European countries as well, and we will assist, their diplomatic staff and their people in Pakistan. Maybe, I don't know, for 1 month, for 2 months. So the point is that what we are achieving from them, we are hosting, for example, people from European Union, from America. What we will get from America, this is important. As we all know that Pakistan is an FATF grey list, Financial Action Task Force grey list. What we are achieving from them, we are still in grey list. We are helping them, but we are not getting, what is important for us. So we have
Means the people of Pakistan should open their eyes. They should not live in a fool paradise. You are not getting or achieving anything out of them. You will be remain in grey list. Or might be, if you recognize the Taliban, you will go into the blacklist. So what I am saying, the failures. These are the failures. These are the failures of a middleman. This is what I'm saying. And we are obliged and forced to oblige to host for a 1 month or 2 months, whatever they have decided. And I hope that those people who are saying absolutely not should reconsider that it is absolutely not or not. So I'm not saying, I'm saying that my diplomacy skills never teaches me to accuse or fingering on anyone. But I'm talking about the pros and cons of the failures. The failures, it cannot be justified because the failures are mine and successes are yours. Or successes are yours, mine or failures are yours. We have to bear the responsibility of our both. And the truthful leader, those whom I always pay tribute as a statesman, they come with failures and with successes both together in front of the nation. They never kept the nation in illusions. And it is not a time for illusions. They should be very much clear to understand by the political and military establishment in Pakistan. They should know that illusion will harm the nation and country interest. We cannot live in illusions. We cannot sing a song that we will protect Pakistan. We have to act rigorously for saving the interest of Pakistan. We have to look at the suffering of the 220 million pupils of our country. और अगर यही करना है कि जी हमारी जायदादें बाहर हैं और तो हमने तो चले जाना है और पाकिस्तानी अवाम जाएगी जहन्नुम में जैसे सन 70-71 में चली गई थी, तो that is the other hand. That's the other option. As I said earlier, America, India, Russia, China, United Kingdom, they are the 5 superpowers and nuclear powers. 6 superpowers, including Pakistan, the 7 nuclear powers. But keep in your mind again and again, the nuclear deterrence cannot stop the destruction of any nation. 72 countries was under the command and under the direct rule of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. Today, where is the United Kingdom of Great Britain stand? People should understand that. The former Soviet Union, 32 countries was under their command, under their oppression. Where does the Soviet Union is now? So the history will repeat. Americans should understand that always blackmailing and betrayals never work. So on, China is a growing emerging economic power. The China should understand you cannot keep people buying. India should learn a lesson from the Soviet Union. India is also a one union, and the union can be broken anytime. And the European Union must know about this fact, that there is no more England into the union, and how many will leave them because of their blindness, ignorance towards the issues and going ahead toward the one power and to dealing the other countries like slaves. It will give them the lessons too. As I said, the United States is also a union. 52 states are in union. So every union must learn from the downfall of Soviet Union. History give a time to you to correct yourself. Time, nature, and the creator give every power to correct themselves. When they never go on a correct way, they always vanished. This is the lesson of history. So hope wisdom will prevail, and the wisdom will always prevail in the wise peoples, not the blind peoples.
Thank you very much, Excellency. It was a very long session today, and thank you very much for explaining everything and answering the question of Mr. Osvaldo as well. And it was a good discussion. So we are ending up our session here today. So see you soon in our upcoming sessions. And thanks again for joining all the participants, especially to our speaker, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Shahid Amin Khan, for joining us today. Thank you very much, Excellency. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am grateful indeed to the Youth Diplomacy Forum and to you as its leader. And I'm thankful to the all listeners and all the people, those who raised the question. I'm always with you whenever you require my support, my company, and my thoughts. I will be always obliged to stand with my young generation. God bless you. God bless the people of Pakistan and the rest of the world. And may God give a prosperous future to all the young generation living in Pakistan and every country.
Thank you very much, Excellency, for your kind words and wishes for the youth, especially for Pakistan. I am grateful for your kind words. So we are ending up our session here today. So good luck, everyone. Thank you very much.